All right, everybody. So let's just review the market today. We'll start off with the ES. All right. So there was a demand here that came in. It says DMD. That demand came around here. All right. So that's just very important to know because you need to know where the demand was because typically get tested. Anyway, so let's just review what happened. So market on the ES was going up. Right here, there was some supply. So you had selling in the background, and the market's going up, up, up. Here, there was supply because you had too much volume, biggest in 30 bars, and not a lot of distance, not a lot of output, a lot of input, not a lot of output. And so the market had a problem getting through, and it resulted in a significant pullback to the demand area. From the demand area, the market then rallied out of nowhere, very strong, and right, you see DMD demand came from here, right? So very strong demand. It's the biggest in the last 5 bars. It would have been bigger if it wasn't for this demand here. Actually, this is actually supply because you have a lot of volume, but it can't break through. Is because that demand is meeting supply, overhead supply. Anyway, so this volume comes in, and then you had a test of that where it says 20. So this is the low bar, and it gets tested, and then it flies. So once the demand appears, you just have to know the zones, and this is the demand zone, and this is the print right here that tells you that this is a demand zone. That's valid because there's a lot of volume in that demand zone. If this was not highlighted, it had nothing, then how do you know there's a lot of volume there? But clearly there's a lot of buying activity, and that produced the rally. So this demand is very obvious. It's 20 times 1,000, it's 20,000 contracts. When the price went down, someone picked up 20,000 contracts, pushed, picked up another 16,000, pushed, broke out with 23,000 until finally they got tired, and the price just went back to that area of 20,000 contracts, and that's it. So it tapped and rallied. There's some supply that came, but this market is too strong. It's buying all the supply that comes in. So that's what happens when you have a lot of relative strength also. It's like the same thing. All right, so that's what I wanted to review with the ES. Basically this, that you have demand. Where's the demand? This is the demand. Where does it come from? It came from this level and went up, then pulled back. Where did it test? Area of demand. When, where? The demand zone. From that zone, price went to the prior highs, made a higher high. This is typically what happens, right? Because these folks are going to defend, especially on the first test. Now, if it comes back to that area, I don't know. But their orders were filled, and their buying activity led to high prices. All right, so we're done with this. Let's move on to the next market. We'll take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin, very important because it has too much relative strength. So this market, first of all, there's demand. This, the first thing you need to see is this demand on the pullback. This demand right there, DMD. This demand, I'm actually pulling from lower time frames at key levels. This is not based on this particular time frame. It's coming from lower time frames. It's a very innovative thing to do because typically demand is it comes from lower time frame, not from higher time frame, or not from the same time frame. That's why people, they look at the lower time frame to see trend shifts and volume and all of that. So that I just pulled in to this time frame to identify, yeah, there's demand coming in. Anyway, so where is it? This is the demand. This was the first indication of demand, but I couldn't really execute the way I wanted to on this. But this was it. This was it. This is the demand, and if you take a look, this is not a coincidence. It goes to the same area of prior demand, the highlighted, ding, 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 bang, right there, and then pop, because they're buyers here, and it just went crazy. All right. So if you see, here's the demand. Why is the biggest in 30 up waves? Obviously, it's demand, right? Coming from a lower low, meaning they buy low, sell high, buy low. This is the low. This is the what is it? Spring, yeah. And then the market tested. So came down. It tested. What does it test? Test the demand zone. And I would have preferred for this highlighted to be over here. I don't know why it's not here. It's actually in the background. If it was here, it would be more convincing for me. Anyway, market comes down, 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 down. This is some reaccumulation here. See this? This is actually demand on the way down, where you have significant demand but it's unable to push price. Why? It's reaccumulating here. So demand, biggest in 30 waves. Shit. Wow. And then bang, goes straight up. Right? Obviously, be careful with any supply because it's just a pullback. So just back off of it and focus more on the demand because all the trend is up and the market has too much relative strength. So this area is very strong now, by the way. This area right here, if price goes down to this area, it's very highly likely if it comes down to this area, it's going to react on the way up. All right, so this was in Bitcoin. And I think that's enough for today. All right, have a good day. Bye.